Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the Altenew February release of the new stamps, sets, stencils and dies, and there is so many to choose from, and I'm going to show you one project created using the dotted diamond stamp set. And I really like this stamp set. It's great to create backgrounds and also to help you embellish your page. So I'm going to keep the page very simple, and what I'm going to do is I'm showing you right now what I have from the release, but what I'm going to use with this stamp set is I want to create a background. And I went in through the pamphlet. I always check the pamphlet first just to see some ideas of what they had created. And the one thing that stand out, I don't know if you can appreciate it, is that some of the backgrounds are stamped twice. So that means that they use they just kind of like, I'm gonna say they superimpose the stamp set. So I want to create the same for my background, and my choice is gonna be I'm gonna actually emboss it because I want it to be the highlight of this page. So I'm starting with actually pink cardstock. I wanted something that wasn't on white so that the embossing will stand out. So I'm gonna use my stamping platform, which is gonna help me speed up the process and also to create a crisp line. So I'm using Altenew embossing ink. Actually, I love this ink, and I'm gonna say a panel, because the layout that I'm going to create is for my Life Crafted album, my family album. So it's 10 inches by 8 1/4. So I'm going to stamp a vertical, I'm going to say like a panel of an 8.5 by 11 page. So you're going to see that I'm just moving my paper so that I can create a single panel, and I'm going to once I've stamped it with the embossing ink, I'm actually gonna go ahead and add gold. There's no gold, actually it's called platinum embossing powder. It's also from Altenew, and it's a mixture between gold and silver, so it creates I don't know, it creates like this beautiful silvery goldish finish on the page. So you're gonna see that right now I'm gonna just sprinkle the powder, and I'm actually gonna take it off camera to heat emboss it. Once I come back in the camera, and you're gonna see actually I moved it around so you can appreciate the color, and it's a really nice color. It's like I said it before, it's like a silvery gold, very interesting color, but it's looked very pretty on the pink. So now that I've already created my first embossing, I'm gonna go back again on top of the panel, but I'm gonna move the stamp slightly offset so that I can see a second line of the dotted diamond. So think of it as creating a crosshatch. So all I'm gonna do right now, you're gonna see that I'm gonna move the stamp so that it kind of intersects the rhomboids, in this case, or the diamonds, in a different angle, and it's gonna create that double line that I'm looking for. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and use embossing ink from Altenew, but this time I'm actually gonna use the crisp white embossing powder from Altenew because I want that white line to show in the paper. Again, I'm gonna stamp it, complete the panel. Now this one's gonna be a little bit of an offset just because the way I had set up the stamp set created a little bit of an offset, but I don't mind it because I'm actually gonna cover that part with the picture and also with some florals. So you're gonna see right now that I'm just finishing my stamping, and then I struggled a little bit, like I said, because the way I set up the stamp was a little bit different than the first part that it made it so easy. But I don't mind that it took a little bit of moving around. But once I got my panel ready, I'm gonna go ahead and actually add the white powder and take it off camera just to heat emboss it, make sure that it sets on the paper. And I love the color combination of the white and the gold, and it actually shows really nice, and it shows the intersection of the two colors, and the texture shows nicely, the design of the stamp shows nicely on the background. So I think that's all I'm gonna need for this page. While I was already outside of the camera, what I did too is I added actually some of the washi tape, and this washi tape is from Altenew. I believe it's Cherry Blossoms, the name of it, and I glue it onto white cardstock, and I fussy cut a few of the flowers. I had a few cut out, but I'm just gonna cut a few more because I want to use them as the embellishment for my layout. So you're gonna see that my panel is a little bit wider than 5 inches. I'm gonna say around 6 inches, which is the width of the stamp, and I'm okay with that because I'm gonna use that extra inch to marry the two sides of my layout together. The width of one panel of my Life Crafted album is only 5 inches, so the leftover piece is going to help me kind of ground the other side of the layout and bring some of the pink onto the right hand side of the layout. So now that I have it ready, I'm going to go off camera, punch the holes, get everything set up, and I also back the picture with a piece of vellum. And this is me actually every day whenever I'm working from home and I'm filming. I'm behind a camera with lots of light, so I just took a picture of me just to show me that I'm at work. And all I'm gonna do right now is just give you an idea of what it's gonna look like. And I want to make sure that when I add the florals, they kind of span through the 2 pages. So I'm gonna make sure that when I place everything, you're gonna see that I'm gonna start by placing the picture on the background that I already embossed, and then I'm gonna say a top left cluster. I'm just gonna add a few of the flowers there just to create. I'm gonna kind of create a soft diagonal design, but you're gonna see it's gonna kind of end up zigzagging on my page. So I'm just gonna add that big cluster. Just make sure that it's off the page. Once I have it in place, you're gonna see that I add behind the flowers, in this case, little pieces of double cardstock. I had some left over just to give me a little bit of a lift, but not tons of dimension. I don't want it to be very dimensional, but I do want it to be that separation. So I add little pieces of cardstock behind it, and that's just gonna help it. And then you're gonna see that when I create the bottom cluster, I'm gonna actually put the 2 sides of the layout together, because I want to make sure that the flowers, like I said, cross onto the other page, and that's gonna kind of form my zigzag design that I'm looking for. You're gonna see right now that I make sure that some leaves come onto the next page, and I'm gonna glue some other flowers there just to complete that movement on the page. Now what you're gonna see too is that the leftover inch that I had of the embossing panel that I created, I'm actually gonna glue it right on the right hand side of my layout. And I've used white cardstock for this side because that's where my lines of journal is gonna go, where my title is gonna go, and I want to make sure that that stands out. And I'm gonna work it in pink, so I want to make sure the background is white so it stands out. So you're gonna see right now, all I'm gonna do is just kind of create my third cluster, making sure that I complete the zigzagging motion. Again, I'm gonna glue it right to the top right corner of the layout in this case. And once I have that in place, I'm actually gonna go and start working on my title. For this, I'm actually gonna use the diamond dotted stamp set. Again, I'm gonna use the same stamp set, and I'm gonna stamp the background, or the diamonds in this case, using black obsidian ink on top of the pink paper, the leftover paper that I had from the first panel. I'm actually gonna use the same cardstock, but I'm gonna stamp the image using black obsidian ink from Altenew. Very crisp. I want a very crisp look for my title. And once I have that, you can see that I complete the entire panel because I had some different ideas, but I ended up only using, like, I'm gonna say maybe 2 inches maybe of the paper, and that's okay. I just will use this for a background at a car at some point. So I'm gonna use my little mini die cutting machine, and I'm using the fine alpha die set to cut the word at work, which is the title for my layout. And I'm just gonna put it through the die cutting machine, and I wanted to make sure that it kind of followed the line of the diamonds. I didn't want anything to move, just so that I can form that idea on my paper. Once I have that, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it onto my page. No foam adhesive, just straight on the page. Like I said, I don't want it to be dimensional, but I want to have the illusion of dimension without being bulky. That's the word. Once I have it in place, I'm actually gonna add my lines of journal right underneath the title. So starting from where the 2 kind of branches of the flowers meet, I'm gonna start adding my lines of journal there. And after that, I'm just gonna add a few embellishments to this page. I don't want to add much because I don't want to take away from the background. So I'm gonna bring one this is a resin heart from I think it's from Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm just bringing some stickers that match the colors of the flowers, and that's about it. I love how this turned out. It was super simple. It took no time to put together. I love the fact that the 2 embossings actually overlap, and they create a really nice background with different colors. And I hope you try it. As always, don't forget to check out the new for all the new release stamps and dies, and also to check my blog to have a chance to win some gift certificates to the shop. Thank you for joining me today. Bye bye, guys.